When did you start seeing progress? Second question is, how do you keep being consistent during your fitness journey? Someone asked, have you ever had an eating disorder or body dysmorphia? How do you get less self-conscious at the gym? I always wanted to go to the weights. And the most asked question is, how do you stay motivated? Is it okay to want a certain physique? Or is that not biblical? Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kendall and thank you for watching the video. Today's video is a fitness Q&A. If you just want to get into the video, I already went ahead and made chapters, so if you're looking for a specific question, go ahead and click it and listen. Okay, I'm just gonna give you a little background about like my fitness journey. That way you guys know. So basically, I started consistently lifting and working out when I was 19. I am now 25, so it's been a couple years. My social media used to be basically all fitness until I started to idolize other fitness influencers and I just started idolizing fitness itself rather than Jesus. Also, if you're new here, I love the Lord, so you will be hearing about Jesus. Take it or leave it. I hope you take it. It just became very toxic for me, and I would compare myself to all these fitness influencers and stuff like that, and they didn't even look like them real self, so I don't know why I was comparing myself to that. But basically that's kind of why I stopped posting so much about my fitness journey, mainly because I didn't want like a younger girl to start idolizing me or like comparing themselves to me. So now I just post sometimes about it, but I do think the internet is a great way to learn about how to kind of take and choose from other people's fitness journey testimony and see what works for you. So the first question is a very simple, how did you start? So this is kind of a two-parter. It's a little bit longer. Fitness in general, I've always been a little bit more on the active side. Just like I loved going on walks. For it to become actually part of my daily lifestyle and for me to actually enjoy it, that didn't happen until I was like 19. I think I just got to the point where I was just sick of being lazy. I was sick of how I felt. I was just sick of being sick and tired of, you know, that crappy feeling. Like you wanted to look good and feel good and stuff, but you just like didn't even know where to start. That was me. I got to the point where I was so insecure, I started looking up body surgery and like, you know, Brazilian butt lift and just like liposuction. I was on YouTube doing research about that, but I got into a rabbit hole about like weightlifting, and I didn't understand at that time that you could literally change your physique. You can literally change the way you feel and look just by like lifting. Oh, the second part to that question is kind of like how I got started actually doing it. So basically what I did is I ordered some adjustable dumbbells off of Amazon, and I went on YouTube, did my research, and I created a little workout on my notepad, and I'll show you a picture of my very first workout that I've written down. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do lower body, upper body, and full body, and I'm going to do it for these 3 days, and that's how I'm going to start, because I had to realize before I just would never stay consistent because I would try to do all these things I didn't like, and you know, I just was like, okay, we'll make it simple. 3 days a week, we're gonna work out at this time, and that was it. Second question is, how do you keep being consistent during your fitness journey? So the main thing that really helped me was I had to change my mind shift to why I wanted to work out. There was a nap. I used to only work out to solely look good, and that was never gonna, like, I could never stay consistent with that. I don't think anyone can. Like, if you only work out to look good, you're never gonna stay consistent with, because our bodies change all the time. So I had to fix my mindset, and it was actually Whitney Simmons who talked about this on her YouTube channel. She always said healthy lifestyle, like a healthy lifestyle. And I was like, lifestyle? Like, what's that even mean? And it literally taking care of yourself for like mental reasonings. Like, you literally feel good when you work out. So I shifted my mindset to like, you're going to work out because you're going to feel freaking fantastic after. You're going to have more energy, oddly enough. You're going to feel better mentally, and that's the mind shift I had to have to like being consistent. On the days where I have no motivation, I'm like, okay, you're going to feel better, so like that helped me stay consistent. With that being said, even though like the physical part wasn't my motivation to do it, when you are consistent, you will see like a physical change and physical outcome from that, but it shouldn't be the main like goal. Another big tip to staying consistent is I actually did something I enjoyed, which was weightlifting. Before, I would just run, or I'm like, okay, I'm going to run, come and lose weight, you know? And I hated it. I was so miserable the whole, you know, mile and a half I was running. Next question is, do you count calories? Simple answer is no. I do not count calories currently, but I did when I first started working out. It was important for me to learn how much I was actually putting into my body, because then I slowly learned, like, you know, it kind of comes down to science. Like, you can work out all you want, but if you are still eating more than what your body is burning, you're still going to either stay at a maintenance level or you will gain weight. Like, that's just the thing. And I had to learn, like, okay, like, this muffin is 1,200 calories and it'll keep me full for an hour. Or I could have, 4 eggs, 2 pieces of toast, and some hash browns for, 600 calories, and it's going to keep me full a longer period. So I had to kind of learn about it. Basically, I intuitively eat. So I eat when I'm hungry. I stop when I'm full. I don't stuff myself anymore. And I eat foods that usually make me feel good. But sometimes I really want macaroni, and I don't care how I feel. The fourth question is kind of funny. They said, did you lose a few pounds? Well, yes, I did. I lost a little over 50 pounds in total in my fitness journey. Recommendations for those just getting into the gym, good starter workouts. So I'm coming from a lifting point of view. If you're just thinking about like getting stronger and wanting to tone up, I highly recommend weightlifting. Basically, just go on YouTube, search up beginner dumbbell workouts, and dumbbells are like the smaller like weights, because every gym has them, or you can just order them on Amazon or whatever. Now, if you're at the gym, go in there with a little workout. Like, it could be a couple exercises and just go in the corner and work out. The nice thing about dumbbells is that it's very beginner friendly, and you can just even grab like a 10-pound one and just learn the movement. But I do recommend, like, don't go up and wait until you get your form down, and then little by little just start adding reps, or just like start looking at different exercises once you start getting comfortable in the gym, after you get a little bit more confident walking around in the gym and like looking at other machines, or maybe even seeing what other people are doing. So just start with dumbbells in a corner with your music. Okay, that's what I did. When did you start seeing progress? I started seeing progress in the first month, and there's a thing called beginner gains, and basically, like, if you've never lifted before or whatever, like, if you are consistent and you're getting your protein in and you're consistent with weightlifting, you will see results. Like, you're gonna start seeing a little bit of progress in the first at least 6 to 8 weeks. What kind of music do you listen to when you work out? I listen to Christian rap or worship. Best advice for beginners. Okay, so this is what I tell everyone, and this is what really worked for me, but don't focus on taking bad habits away, because you've had those habits for so long, and it's going to be a lot easier to add new habits than to take bad habits away. So like for me, I would always try to take bad habits away. I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop eating sugar. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop doing that. It'd last like 30 hours, like maybe. But when I started focusing on just like, okay, you're going to work out 3 days a week. You're going to get, a fourth of a gallon of water in. You're going to eat foods that make you feel better. You're going to make sure you're, moving your body, just going on walks here and there. I like no longer wanted to do the bad habits anymore, because I was starting to implement all these better habits. So that's what I always tell people. Don't focus on like trying to get rid of these habits overnight. It's kind of like compared to the Christian walk. When you're saved and you accept Jesus, you're not going to be perfect the next day. You're never going to be perfect. But little by little, it's a journey. Legs are going numb. Also, my other piece of advice is comparison is the thief of joy. And as someone who used to compare themselves to everyone on the internet, especially like the fitness influencers, they don't even look like themselves in real life. So comparing yourself to other people it's the silliest thing you can do. Compare yourself to you and your journey, and that's it. I compared myself for so long, and I cannot tell you how many binge eating cycles I would go into after seeing like a girl with abs on Instagram and then finding out she photoshopped them. So how do you get less self-conscious at the gym? I always wanted to go to the weights. Okay, I was so scared to go to the gym at first. I would literally go to the gym at 3 a.m. because no one was there. I would wake up at 3 a.m. and go, just because I wanted to go, but I didn't want people to look at me. As someone who's been in the gym, I can tell you the only people that are looking at you, admiring you, because they have no idea what to do, so they're just trying to see what you're doing. Even if I still go to a new gym, I do get like a little anxious, because I'm like, okay, where is everything? Like I kind of go back into that, like, why is everyone looking at me? But really no one's looking at me. I can even show you a picture of how nervous I used to be. This was my first gym selfie, and I was so nervous. And I remember somebody walked in right after I took that picture, and I like hid my phone. I was like, oh my gosh, like they saw me take a picture. So embarrassing. For advice, go in there with a small plan. Like I always tell people, dumbbells is the best and the safest place to start working out. Go in there with a plan. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but if you just go in there with no plan and you're just like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you know, you're just going to feel self-conscious. But if you go in there and you have like little screen recordings of the workout and you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to try, go in there, make sure you're not facing anyone so you're not looking around, and just focus on the workout. Little by little, you'll start to get more confident. It like happens over time, because it happened with me. Like once I started going to the same gym, I got more confident to go and look at other machines. If you go to Planet Fitness, it's really nice for beginners because they have a barcode on each of their equipment and you can just like watch how to do it. Someone said drop your workout playlist. It's on Spotify, Kindle's gym playlist. Favorite gym wear. Gymshark is the only thing I wear, and I know it's expensive, but it's just one of those things I do splurge on, and I usually use Afterpay when I splurge on. I've had some of these collections for over 3 years, and I still wear them weekly, so I really like the material. They're not as expensive as some other people. Their leggings are like $40, $50 a piece, but I mainly just use the Vital seamless shorts. Those are my favorite, and I like how they feel, especially if like I'm bloated. They don't like make me feel like I'm cut in half. But if I am on the hunt for some other brands, like more affordable brands, so I think I'm going to start checking out Amazon and seeing just like what they have, because I know Gymshark is not reasonable for everyone. Like I couldn't afford Gymshark. Technically, I really can't afford Gymshark. I just use Afterpay. But yeah, I'm going to start getting on the hunt for looking for some more affordable ones. Okay, this one's kind of a longer one, and it's also if you struggle with any eating disorders or anything like that, it's a little trigger. But someone asked, have you ever had an eating disorder or body dysmorphia? I just want to flat out say I was never diagnosed. Like, it was not that, but like, this is what I struggled with. So I kind of written it down because I just want to make sure I hit all the main points. I struggled with binge eating for ever, probably until about 2 years ago. I used to eat and eat and eat until I was sick. I just felt like in my head I had to finish my food, and if I didn't have like that throwing up feeling, then I don't know, like I felt like the food was going to waste. And it could be because I grew up pretty on the poor side. So like, you know, I never really seen a lot of food at one time. So when we did have food, you ate it all. And then like if I would go to my friend's house and they would have like these name brand snacks and sweets and stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm never going to have this again. Like I got to eat it all. So I think that's kind of where it began. I would even go on YouTube and like watch these girls like talk about binge eating and stuff like that, because I was like, am I crazy? Like, why is my head like, it won't stop? Like my belly's full, I'm sick, but like my mind tells me I have to keep eating it. It's kind of like my little therapy. I've watched these other girls' stories. I'm like, okay, so I'm not crazy. Like this is like a thing. Even when I was first starting working out, like I was like 19 or 20, and I was working out 6 days a week. I would work out, lift, and then I would do Stairmaster for an hour. I was the biggest I ever was because I was binge eating right after. I would go to Dollar General, I would get lemon heads, ding dongs, like cookies, and I'd eat everything, like till it was empty. I would eat in the parking lot, and I would justify it, be like, oh, I did an hour of Stairmaster. So anyways, to tell you how I got over it, it was solely by Jesus. And there are still days I think about like, okay, I just want to buy a big bag of this and eat the whole thing. And now I just like, through Jesus, I told God, I said, God, like, I want to take care of myself. I want to feel better. I don't want to keep doing this. I need you to take it away from me. And he did. So through Jesus and just like prayer is really what helped me with it. Body dysmorphia, I don't know, not really. If I'm ever having like a bad mental health day with my body, I just make sure I wear really baggy clothes to the gym. I don't look in the mirror, and I just focus on how like my form is, and I focus on my workout. What is your current routine and your steps in a day? So here is my routine, and this is my split. Mondays I do glute and quad. Tuesdays I do shoulder and tricep. Wednesdays I do hamstrings, glutes, and a quad burner. Thursdays back and bicep. Fridays lower body. Saturdays upper body. Now Fridays and Saturdays, sometimes I go, sometimes I don't, but I always hit 4 days a week. And then 2 out of the 3 days I do some type of high intensity for 20 minutes. Could be Stairmaster, it could be like some jogging, some sprints, some walking, or whatever. Every day I do try to hit 5 to 8 miles of just movement, and it's actually not that hard to do. Like you could literally go on an hour walk and you just hit 5 miles if you walk at a pretty good speed. But I'm not serving anymore, so I'm not moving around as much, and I work from home, so I just want to make sure I'm moving my body, you know, I don't want to get lazy. That's my routine, but that does not mean you have to do any of that. It's just works for me. I just want to make that very clear. Just because I do it doesn't mean you have to. This is a great question. A more spiritual question. They said, is it okay to want a certain physique? Or is that not biblical? Short answer is no. I don't think it's sinful or bad to want a certain physique. I think it's very goal oriented, and it kind of gives you an idea of how to like do your split, how to do your routine, like what to focus on for your muscle groups. Now, obviously, if you start to idolize your physique and you start to idolize like you have to look a certain way or whatever, that's when I think it can become sinful, and it can lead you down a dark path. Like for me in the beginning, I definitely did idolize wanting to look a certain way, and that was the only thing that was ever going to make me happy. Jesus should be the only thing that brings us that contentment, you know what I mean? Like for example, I have a physique goal to like grow my shoulders, my glutes, and my hamstrings right now. Those are just parts I want to grow, and I want to get stronger. So I do set up my split to hit those certain goals, and I make sure like I'm working on certain isolated exercises and compounds so I can reach those goals. But at the end of the day, if you start to think you are, or if you really don't know, girl, ask the Holy Spirit. And if you ask the Holy Spirit to help you realize if you are idolizing something or something becomes sinful, oh girl, he is on expedited mode. He will let you know, period. How long have you been working out for? And have you always lifted in your workouts? I have been lifting weights since I was 19 and I'm now 25. However, I didn't really start pushing myself and like really focusing on like growth and stuff like that until I was about 23. That's when I kind of was like, okay, I've been working out. I really don't see that much progress. And to answer, have I always lifted in my workouts? I sometimes do like simple movement days, like where I don't lift, but I do just want to make sure I'm active and like going on walks and stuff like that. And the most asked question is, how do you stay motivated? I don't. And I know you hear every single person say that, but because it's true, like we're not always motivated. We're human. We don't want to do things sometimes. I know it's probably not what you want to hear, but it's just like, that's the truth. However, I can give you some tips that help me stay disciplined. If you want to stay motivated, if you want to stay consistent, have a set time. Nothing should get in the middle of that time. You know, at this time every day, everyone knows at this time every day you're going to be at the gym. And go in there with like a little goal. Like if you're weightlifting, you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to push myself for 5 pounds more. I'm going to push myself for like 3 more push-ups. And, you know, just go in there with a goal and like try to hit the goal. Obviously praying that God helps you take care of your temple, and he wants you to take care of yourself. So just ask him to help you like stay disciplined with that. Cause there's some days I start my workout and I'm like, I don't want to be here. I mean, this happens more often than not. I just sit in my car. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then I say, God, help me take care of myself today. And then by like 30 minutes into my workout, I'm having the best time of my life. Next thing, flat out with you guys, pre-workout. I would not work out without pre-workout. Now, I'm not saying you have to have it. You need it because, like, you know, if you got heart issues, don't take pre-workout. But for me, pre-workout, that's how I work out. I even get so unmotivated that I drink pre-workout in my bed, and it'll give me the tinglies, because if you ever taken pre-workout, it gives you, like, itchies. And yeah, it helps me get out of bed and go to the gym. Now, if you are looking to try pre-workout, I've been taking it for a while, so I have a high tolerance, but I take Woke AF. I talk about it in my vlogs and stuff. It is a high stimulant. You will be sprinting. You will be up for days if you take that with no food or if you've never taken it before. A good beginner pre-workout is the Alani Nu one. It's like a lower milligram. Always start with like half a scoop. Make sure you have something in your stomach, and fair warning, you will get itchies. No one ever told me about the itchies. I remember calling my brother. I was like, why is my face on fire? He's like, oh yeah, that could be a lot in it. Always bring like a little Rice Krispie in the gym. Also, if you are taking pre-workout or lifting, just because like if you need like a little quick snack, it's a good little snack. And my last tip for staying motivated or disciplined, body stuff. Like if I'm having like if I'm on my period or if I'm having a bad body dysmorphia day, I just put baggy clothes on like I talked about before, and I was like, okay, I'm just putting baggy clothes on. I don't want to see me. I don't look in the mirror, and I just genuinely focus on my workout. But that's it for today's video. That is part 1. I will definitely be doing a part 2, and if you guys have any more questions, put them in the comments, or if you have other tips, please share them. I really hope this encouraged some of you guys just to take some, you know, wherever of these questions and just start working on yourself. I think health is very important and people should work on themselves. I want you to feel good in your own skin. It's my experience, so take and grab what you will. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!